the fire is starting to get going at the moment with different projects and platforms launching. So I think in the coming 3 months even, it's going to start to get a lot more eyeballs.
Hey everyone, my name is Ben, founder and CEO of Collective Shift. Today we are starting our first round of Meet the Team interviews, starting with one of my good mates, Matty. How are you, mate?
Well, thanks, Ben.
Thanks for jumping on today. So we're going to do a bit of a deep dive into Matt's background, his successes and learnings as a crypto investor, where he thinks the market's going, and a few tips and tricks along the way. So we'll start out. Matt, give us a little bit of a rundown on your background, mate, and how you got started out in crypto.
Yeah, sure, Ben. I was basically how my crypto journey got started. I did my kind of undergraduate degree at Monash doing business. I was getting towards the end of that degree and, realizing it wasn't really for me. Couldn't really picture myself, going into accounting full time in a career. For example, so I really enjoyed my writing. I really loved the economics side of things and many aspects of business still. So, started doing some freelance writing, like for different businesses. And then, gradually started seeing more crypto ads pop up here and there for, back then it was just like ICOs and crypto news websites that were really putting out heaps of ads probably towards the end of 2017. Then a couple of mates were telling me about crypto at the same time. That was really the impetus for me to jump in and, see what it was all about. I definitely had heard about Bitcoin throughout the 2010s and whatnot, and blockchain technology. So that's really how it got started. My first paid contractor work was I think it was on a news website. I think it's called Crypto Coin Spy, and it's a crypto news website. I think it's still operating today. I was just punching out articles, and it was a real forcing function for me to learn about the industry and the technology behind it. And then just started doing more different contract work for different crypto news sites, and I was really hungry to learn about everything going on in the industry, and like where this tiny infant industry that was just about all Bitcoin about in early 2010s was suddenly evolving into just this speculative mania of ICOs. But I was really passionate about finding the best ones and figuring out what it is about them that was different. And that kind of then led me down the path of more being interested in the investing side of
definitely.
things.
And I guess your economics background probably helped, wrap your head around crypto pretty quickly, and probably helped you as an investor as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think, the thing I love most about crypto is the blend of different backgrounds and professions. It's a real mix of, ideologists and people real social, cultural kind of movement, but then you've got the technical background with the developers, computer scientists, and then, the more of the social science related stuff like economics. So that did definitely help me. And then, having invested in stocks and known a lot about accounting and I guess just business in general, through that aspect as well, it kind of helped me wrap my head around what these projects were trying to do and why they were raising money in the first place.
Awesome. And for those members out there, I actually met Matt through Twitter, of all places. I think it was either me or you, Matt. We slid into each other's DMs and then sort of hit the ground running from there. So, it's just how we find people in crypto, I guess, these days. People lurking in their bedrooms in crypto. Matt, what about your biggest successes in crypto? What are the trends or narratives or projects that you've been pretty early on and I guess gained a bit of traction in your own investing portfolio?
Yeah, I think probably throughout 2018 was when I had the biggest wins in terms of I'll probably get to this a bit later, but 2018, when it was a real heavy crypto winter, was when I made the best picks, I suppose. It was really the kind of nascent stages of DeFi. It wasn't even called DeFi back then. But it really just stood out, the amount of projects that were, were still surviving and building in that time. Very low kind of attention on them, but you really saw the value proposition of those. A few examples, were Synthetics early on, the Australian based team who they rebranded from some sort of stablecoin based
It was
project.
Haven back then, wasn't it? I've still
Haven,
got their
that's
t-shirt.
right. Yeah, double V.
Yeah.
You do actually. Yeah, you do.
Went to EdCon. Went to EdCon in
in Sydney.
2018.
Yeah.
Bought a bunch of synthetics. Did absolutely nothing for like months, and then sold.
Yeah.
And I reckon it's probably done like 400x since.
Yeah.
Since then. I can't look at it.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. That's a good historic relic. That t-shirt.
Lesson, never
early adopter. Yeah. Another one was Aave, which used to be called, I think, ETH Lend back in the day. And again, went through a massive rebranding, and it went more towards this decentralized money market type of thing where you could basically borrow and lend with people all around the world. That just like was a no-brainer in terms of just the value proposition. And then I think Numerai was another one, which is still around. Again, the things that really helped me as an investor was just really keeping up to date as much as possible on forums, Twitter and whatnot, to see what they were building, were they getting venture capital as well. Sharing those with the community at the time. I know I feel really proud of like kind of changing a lot of members' lives, because many of them did get into those projects and did, multiple hundreds. I think even in some cases for a while there it got over 1,000x, which was
that must
crazy.
Feel pretty good for you. Like, I mean, in terms of the investments you've made and the projects and the trends you've been ahead of, I mean, you could probably quite easily just go and do this on your own and just be investor full time. What is it for you that I guess is the part of you that wants to work a collective shift, build this community and provide that content and that investing information back to members?
Yeah, 100%. I think if I was just riding solo, I would almost I definitely think I'd be a lot wealthier, just due to time I could spend purely on investing. But it all really counts for nothing at the end of the day, because I'm more passionate, like when it push comes to shove, I'm more passionate about helping to grow crypto and help people understand it. And also for the community, like the ones that are willing to put in the time and consume our content, which super grateful for, helping them, get more wealthy as well, along the journey of actually learning about the value proposition of this whole incredible space that we're in. And that's really what, gets me out of bed every morning, is every day I'm helping, bit by bit move the needle in terms of getting crypto from, 0 to 100,
that's awesome.
basically.
And I've had that, question thrown to me a few times around why are you guys the people that we should listen to? Like, if you were so good at what you do, why wouldn't you all just be individual investors? And the fact is that we all could, and like Matt said, probably make a lot more money than what we do by building collective shift. But I think collectively as a team, we're trying to build something much bigger than just being an individual portfolio. It's not about that for us. It's about being able to provide education and resources and community and that feeling, a fulfilling feeling of making money and helping other people make money and bringing more people into the space. So that's really exciting for us. So that's a really good point, Matt. If you were a VC today, or had just raised a bunch of money from investors and wanting to put that into crypto, what are the trends or I guess areas that you would be most excited to put that capital in? Doesn't necessarily need to be a project, just like what are the macro themes that you think are the best things? Yeah,
I think I still think if all the hype NFTs are getting at the moment on non-fungible tokens, I really just like saw this stat the other day, which even surprised me, is that how tiny of a value the entire NFT market is as a percentage of the whole crypto space. And on the back of that, it's made me even more bullish on NFTs in 2022. So I would be, if I was just raising money from a bunch of investors and deploying it, I would be putting a decent chunk of it, if not maybe a very small majority, into NFTs. Specifically, I'm particularly bullish on music NFTs at the moment, more so just because of awareness within the NFT market. That's kind of a sector that isn't really getting much attention, and it's just starting to like, the fire's starting to get going at the moment with different projects and platforms launching. So I think in the coming 3 months even, it's going to start to get a lot more eyeballs and ears on it. So that's where I'd be putting a decent chunk of my money. And then really, I think DeFi is still a no-brainer. I think it's been beaten up so much over the past 12 to 18 months in terms of value. So I think from a medium to long-term investment timeline, I would be very happy to put money into some of my favorite DeFi projects at the moment, because they're inevitably going to come back.
Obviously seen a bit of a retracement in the DeFi space recently, and I think the institutional DeFi space is super exciting, and a few undervalued sort of projects in that area. Where do you currently find your information, Maddie? Where are you searching daily? Like, where are you finding the alpha? Where would you recommend investors to spend their time to try and find these new hidden gems, the NFTs that are minting? Like, what are the areas that you're looking at?
Yeah. I think people say it often, it's almost a cliche in crypto now that like Twitter is just like the center of the crypto universe, but it's kind of like, even if it's a bit of a joke, it is true at the end of the day. If I was seriously answering that question, it would actually be Twitter. I've spent years, being on Twitter, like since I've ever gotten involved in crypto, and, my social graph essentially, and all the people I follow, it's really curated now to the point where I do have a really good knack of finding early projects and I guess the best commentary on the state of certain sectors, on Twitter. And then, I used to read a lot more crypto newsletters, which are another great source of information. And Discord is like increasingly becoming a place I'm looking to. The community definitely is one where there's, a lot of investors in our community who have shared incredible alpha and just early projects that they are looking into and investing, and they've turned out to be great. So, in the short of it, I would say top 3 would be Twitter, Discord, and our community.
Brilliant. Awesome. And I think from what we're trying to do at Collective Shift standpoint is trying to bring all that alpha and bring all that information into one place where you can save time. So whether it be the newsletter we send out where it recaps the top trends, investing tips, news. We now got the Discord group where the community can contribute in a much more like live sort of 24/7 manner. And I think community, as you said, Matt, like there's so many stories and so many, when you've got a collective group of investors all working together, and like, it's not just 4 or 5 people, you've got 2.5, 3,000 people doing work for you that you can consume. It certainly just ramps up the knowledge and information you get across. Yeah. What do you think is the best thing that Collective Shift provides for investors, Matt? Like what do you love most from an investment standpoint or investor standpoint? What do you think the most valuable thing that we provide is?
I love now that we've got a clear direction in terms of almost facilitating for 2 types of investors, which are basically the most common types of investors in crypto at the moment in 2022. Those 2 being, people who are working full time, got family, other commitments, and they just want a source of information that can be condensed down, and basically a type of content that is more just like, this is what we're doing. You can see what we're doing and basically either use that as a proxy for your own research, and go on and invest. That's, in that case, I think the best content that we're doing at the moment is the portfolio related stuff. I think it's called the Our Investment stuff on the platform. I think we have 2 we launched late last year, early stage crypto opportunities, or the ESCO report, and then the long-term growth report, or the LTG report. They're our first 2, I guess, investment mock portfolios. Oh, they're not mock because it's our actual company money. And then the third one I think we will have coming out soon, bit of alpha here, will very likely be a portfolio for NFTs. And then, on that second, I guess, category of investors, there's definitely the more, whether they're working in the crypto space day to day, or whether they're maybe a uni student, or really someone who's just really passionate about crypto, and they might work full time outside of crypto, but they're putting in the hours, after dark or on the weekends. That's definitely an investor category that I've seen just, persistently since I've started in crypto. And for those types, I think our project discovery, the one that Nathan does in particular, he's just, world class in my opinion of curating, at being at the cutting edge of the industry and finding new projects and putting them in front of our members' eyeballs, and explaining in short what they do. And then also just in general, the team insights posts, I would encourage anyone to read, but particularly that, I think they hit all membership categories, but I think for the person who's a bit more active in the space, they can it's a great way to basically have your finger on the pulse of what's going on.
Totally. And I think just to recap what Matt's saying there, I think the two different types of investors, one that doesn't have a lot of time, but really just wants to be led towards an answer. We have our investment section where we show live what we're buying and what we're selling with our own money. And the long-term growth portfolio, I think that's up 19 or 20% over Bitcoin just over the last couple of months as of January 21 today. So that's obviously tracking pretty well. And then I think we're doing more and more for the investors that want to learn and be educated more from more team insights, whether it be NFTs, whether it be DeFi, Web3, whatever it is. We're building more of that content. So really trying to target those two investors. Awesome, Matt. That's been really good. Mate, we're going to just finish with 3 questions. 3 fire questions. So what do you think the hardest thing is about making money in crypto? And the reason we ask this question is that I think for a lot of people that are new to crypto or aren't quite there or, wanting to get into the space, all you usually hear is all the stories of how someone turned, $17 into 10,000 or 100,000, all the ridiculous, 0.01% stories. What's the hardest thing been for you about making money in crypto?
This is an easy one for me. It's just having conviction when you've got a hunch, or having conviction when you are pretty confident that it will appreciate that cryptocurrency. I think that's why my answer before, I didn't really say it was 2018. It was my best pick in terms of sharing it with members. But what probably most people don't know is that I never actually invested in these ones, even though I basically told everyone, more or less, I put on the spotlight and said, they were my favorite projects at the time. My family, girlfriend and mates kind of always remind me of that, of how much I think I could be, how well I could be doing at the moment. But it really is hard sometimes. I think working in the crypto space full time as well. There was a stage in 2018, 19 and 20 where I was, almost forgetting about my own personal, investment journey. And I was always just looking out for members. I've gotten a bit more selfish in 21, which is good, but and I've done pretty well over the past 12 to 18 months. But conviction and just paying attention to your own thoughts on a project, and actually seriously asking yourself, well, should you invest in it?
Yeah, no, good call. So what's your top podcast or online learning tool that you'd recommend people to utilize?
Yeah, I think Collective Shift is where I always try to point people to in terms of just getting involved in crypto investing. I think if you're interested in a certain subcategory like NFTs or DeFi or Web3, I think the podcasts and stuff I listen to vary a bit. At the moment, I'm really loving the Forefront. That's FRONT. Their podcast is the one I'm really loving at the moment. That's more on Web3 and social tokens and that, but it kind of swings, I guess, my podcast taste throughout the year. And then in terms of written stuff, there's an abundance of it, really. I'm reading a lot of blog posts on mirror.xyz at the moment. Again, more on NFTs and Web3 and all that. But yeah, you can ask in the community. I think we've got a lot of resources on the member platform that kind of do have a lot of, point to a lot of external places if members do want to go deeper.
Brilliant. And last question, Matt, what would you tell yourself day one of starting out in crypto if you could go back to younger Matt?
Oh, it would definitely be that what I just talked about a few minutes ago, just to I guess be a bit more selfish and think a bit more about, I guess, my own investment journey, if I was to be honest. And And probably also would be to not feel as though you need to know about everything. I think I was, especially at the start, being a very, very generalist. I was like taking notes like crazy, trying to be across everything and learn about everything, which was really good for, I guess, giving myself a solid education. But I think I did that for a bit too long, and I would tell myself going back to just really double down on one or two sectors of the crypto space and then just become like a domain expert in that area. And it would also then help me in my investment journey and then helping members create wealth as well.
That's a really good point. Awesome, Matt. That's been really good. How can people follow you? Where do you write your content? Where can people, shoot you a message? Where's the best places?
Yeah, I think like on the member platform, I think we've now got comments on the member platform actually. So anything I post, members can comment on it. Then in the Facebook community at the moment, I'm in there, obviously. Just type in my name, you'll see me in there. And same with Discord. I'm in the Collective Shift community, just my name as well. And then, on socials, it would definitely be Twitter. So it's just my name, Matt_Willemsen. And give me a follow and get all that alpha.
Awesome, mate. So as Matt said, if you're already a member, obviously you can see all of his content in the member platform. Head into Discord and shoot him a message. And if you're not a member, we've now got a 14-day free trial which you can sign up for, which the links will be below. So you can jump in there with absolutely no charge and get all that alpha, as Matt would say. Thanks for jumping on, Matt. We'll chat soon.
Oh, good, Ben. It was a pleasure.